Hey guys. Okay, so everybody's coming home with some homework tonight. We're working on our lesson 3 problem set, and the homework looks like this. It's page 12, and for most students, everybody's doing this entire page. And I just want to kind of go over a few examples just to kind of help you out at home. So let's talk about this first section here. It says write the following in exponential form. And what we're doing in class is we're taking base 10 numbers, basically numbers that start with 1 and they end with zeros, and we're writing them with a base of 10 and an exponent. And so let's take an example here. Let's look at 10,000. I think that's letter A on number 1. So 10,000. To write this in exponential form, what I'm going to do is I see that I have 4 zeros, and those zeros mean that I have 4 tens that I can multiply together to get 10,000. So that's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So in exponential form, this is, again, they're base 10 numbers, so I start with a 10, and my exponent, which is just a little number that hangs up on the right-hand corner, is going to be 4 because it's made up of 4 tens multiplied together. So we say it's 10 to the 4th power or 10 to the power of 4, either way. Now, some of the others on number 1, they don't just give a number, they give an expression. So let's look at D. D is 100 multiplied by another 100. And so again, in class we talked about, well, what I'm going to look at is I see my zeros here. I see 2 zeros in 100. That means that I have 2 tens that I can multiply together to make up 100. And I'm multiplying that by another 100. So again, I have 2 more tens to make up that other 100. And I'm multiplying it all together. So in all, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. So again, this one's going to be a base of 10. So I'll write my 10 first. And then my exponent is going to be 4. It's that little number. Make sure it's little. Otherwise, it looks like 104. But that 4 is basically telling that 10 it's going to multiply itself 4 times. And I have 4 tens. So one thing we talked about is you could just really simply, I can count the zeros. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros between my 2 factors. And so that tells me what exponent. I'm always going to have this base of 10. Every one of these on number 1 will have a base of 10. So then we go down to number 2. And these problems are taking those exponents and multiplying them by another number, or those powers of 10, excuse me, and multiplying them by another number. And what the students are bringing home is they're bringing home this place value chart. And we work with this in class a lot. And what we're doing is we're looking at how, when I multiply a number, whether it's a whole number or a decimal, and I multiply it by a power of 10, how that shifts the digits from one place to another. So for instance, on number 2, on A, we have 9 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3. So on my place value chart, I'm going to fill it in like that. That 9 is 9 ones. And what's going to happen is, because I'm multiplying it by 10 to the power of 3, that's 3 tens. And every time I multiply by 1 10, it moves my digit up one place. Well, I have 3 tens. And I know that because I have an exponent of 3. So what's going to happen to the 9, it's going to move up 1, 2, 3 places. So it's going to go up to the thousands place. So we move it up to the thousands place. And I have some empty places behind it. So the hundreds place, tens place, and the ones place need those placeholder zeros. Don't forget to put those in. So 9 multiplied by 10 to the 3rd power is 9,000. And that makes sense because 10 to the 3rd power is the same as 1,000. So another example would be if I look at E, which is a decimal number, so that's 4 and 25 thousandths multiplied by 10 to the 3rd power. Again, I put this on my place value chart. I fill in my digits, and then I look at my exponent, which is 3, Pardon me, my marker's not writing that very well. So I have that 3. And again, that clues me in that my digits are I'm multiplying, so they're going to shift up the place value chart 3 places. So I move them up 3 places. The 4 goes up 1, 2, 3. So it moves from the ones place to the thousands. The 0 follows right behind, so does the 2, and so does the 5. So they all shift up 3 places. The other part of number 2 says I'm going to divide. So I have, let's look at C. We have 7,200. So I'm going to put that on my place value chart. And I'm going to divide that by 10 to the power of 2. Again, that means I have 2 tens that I'm dividing by. So when we divide, it's basically the same thing as the multiplying, but I'm going to move it the opposite way. I'm going to move it down because dividing gives me a decrease in value. So the digits are going to move down. And I use my exponent to kind of clue me in how many places. So my exponent is 2, again, that little number. And so that tells me my digits are going to move down 2 places. So the 7 goes from 7 thousands to 7 tens. The 2 comes right behind it, and so did those zeros. So I went from 7,200, I divided it by 10 to the power of 2, which is 100, and now it's 72. So that's our homework tonight. That's basically what you're doing throughout this page. The last 2 problems, problem 3 and problem 4, are really asking the students to analyze their work on all throughout number 2. And this one you kind of have to do on your own. You have to do some thinking and look for some patterns. And if you show your work on this place value chart, or some students like to, that we've been working on making our own quick place value chart, and so they would like to do that as well. But just looking for those patterns, that's perfectly fine. As long as you can explain a pattern that you see when you're multiplying or dividing by a power of 10 with an exponent, you're going to be good. So if you have any questions, I'm in the math lab tomorrow morning. I'll be there from 7 to 7:30, so please come in there and see me. Ask questions. I'm here to help. I want to help you. I want you to be successful. I don't want you to stress out. So let me know how this goes. We're going to talk about this tomorrow in class. So have a good night.